50 Cent is continuing to roast Floyd Mayweather, and for good reason, because a lot of what 50 said in the past is coming to light, and you'll see a pattern as the years go on that a lot of what 50 said in the past is true. I mean, it came true with Game about how bipolar he is and how he turns on people and is not loyal. Well, look at Game now. He's shitted on Dr. Dre, 50, Eminem, whoever you can think of, and has been pretty much blackballed through the industry. But 50, with Floyd Mayweather, made a point a long time ago about how Floyd isn't good with his money. And now Floyd is suing Showtime. So let's go over this. 50 Cent poked fun at a longtime rival Floyd Mayweather Jr. on Instagram on Tuesday, sharing a report from TMZ revealing that the legendary boxer has filed a lawsuit against Showtime. In the caption, 50 labeled Mayweather a dumbass and joked about his reading comprehension skills. So first, let's go over the article that TMZ reported of Floyd Mayweather suing and what exactly he's suing, about, because what could possibly go wrong, right? Floyd Mayweather, multi-millionaire, quadrillionaire, billionaire is what he, preaches. So what could possibly go wrong with Floyd Mayweather? What is going on? Let's see here. So TMZ reports Floyd Mayweather says he has made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account, and now he's suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in misappropriated funds and damages resulting from a long-running and elaborate scheme of financial fraud, allegedly perpetrated by his longtime advisor, Al Heyman, and now he's claiming Heyman got substantial participation and aid from Showtime and former Showtime Sports president Stephen Espinoza. Showtime and Espinoza are listed as defendants while Heyman is not being sued. Floyd claims Heyman, with whom he worked for over a decade, misappropriated a significant portion of his career earnings to the tune of a whopping $340 million, and he says he did so with the help of Showtime and SE. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for. In the suit, Mayweather references several of his biggest fights, including against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, alleging Showtime and Espinoza effectively delivered money owed to Floyd directly into Heyman's hands by sending accounts essentially controlled by Heyman. Years later, after the undefeated boxer switched managers to his new team, asked to see Showtime's books, which Floyd claims the network told him were lost in a flood or weren't accessible. Mayweather is suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment. In addition to the $340 million, Mayweather is also seeking punitive damages. Reached for comment, Mayweather's attorney Bobby Samini predicted victory, saying Floyd is one of the boxing's biggest pay-per-view draws. He generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue by Showtime, or for Showtime. Mr. Mayweather now takes this fight to the courtroom to recover what he rightfully earned. Retiring undefeated at 50-0, Mr. Mayweather will go the distance in the courtroom just as he has in the ring. That's a pretty cool reference, man, about the courtroom and the ring. Well, 50 caught wind of it and decided to post the TMZ article, and he said this in the caption: "Oh no, don't cry now, champ. They beat you out of $320 million, you dumb ass. N-word, I told you, let me read the contracts. Now lace up. You got to look good fighting Mike Tyson. Then maybe we can get Bud to beat your ass for some big money." Well, it looks like 50 Cent's right, man. After all these years, the fallout with 50 and Floyd Mayweather is 50. When Floyd Mayweather got locked up for domestic violence charges, he served, I believe, 6 months. 50 said, like Floyd and 50, this one, at least from 50's point of view of what 50 says, he said that he talked to Floyd and he wanted to create a boxing promotions company with Floyd because 50's a passionate fan of boxing. He used to box when he was younger. So he had the conversation with Floyd. Floyd gave him his blessing and said, yes, let's create this boxing promotion company. And then when I get out, we can run it together. So 50 invested in SMS Promotions. Well, initially started as the Money Team Promotions. And then when Floyd got out, 50 was like, hey, I put my money into this. I started it, developed LLC, did all this stuff, built the structure and all that. And now you just got to put in your money or pay me back the money that I put in, and we can, run it like that. Somewhere along the lines of that. I don't know the exact details of the money, but I know 50 put in some money, or maybe he put in all the money and then he, would ask Floyd to pay that portion of his portion back, when he got out, right? So that happened, but Floyd was like, listen, I never asked you to do that, and I want nothing to do with this. So that forced 50 to start SMS promotions, which he never wanted to do flat out. So remember that little run where he had SMS promotions? That was like 3 to 4 years or whatever. He said he never wanted to initially do it by himself. He wanted Floyd Mayweather involved, but that's how that happened. That's how that friendship basically crumbled. I mean, they started becoming friends a little bit here and there, but overall, they were never cool again like they once were. 50 said it's because Floyd never looked at paperwork, never cared about money. He was always going flat broke. That's why he always took these fights. And Floyd flaunts all this money and blah, blah, blah. Now, there was an article, like a long article, I forget by which news place, but they basically broke down that Floyd is essentially like in massive debt because he invested in these buildings in New York and thought that it would pay off and that it would bring in a lot of money, and it didn't. You know, because Floyd was eventually like on interviews, he was flaunting that he invested, like $500 million in these New York, prime real estate places. They're saying that was like borrowed. He didn't have all that money and it's not doing well. And then, he's going to be forced to sell off his houses, which, I think all of his houses are probably accumulating to like 50 million. So it's not like he's broke, right? Like broke, but he's not as rich as he portrays himself, right? And 50's always said that throughout the years. He said, this guy just isn't good with money. The second he gets a check, he just blows it and just does whatever he wants to do with it because another fight's going to come. He's going to get another, whatever, 100 million, 50 million, 150 million, whatever. So 50's saying in this as well, he's saying, listen, I tried to help this guy look over his contracts, make sure everything was good, but I don't think he even checked, or didn't really care. Now, to give Floyd credit, I will say that he did, he became his own promotion company, which no boxer was doing at the time because he saw how Mike Tyson got, cooked by that one guy, man, I forget his name. Got cooked by him, and all these other boxers basically got destroyed by these promoters who just stole their money. Well, it looks like Floyd got his money stolen, but not by a promoter, by one of the Showtime owners and, managers and promoters of Showtime, which is crazy. That's like a different level of robbery is what Floyd is accusing, obviously, Showtime allegedly of doing. So it's an interesting case overall that Floyd got kind of cooked in this situation, and I don't know if he's telling the truth or maybe he's just out of money and looking to try to seek ways to get money from different places because the investments he made aren't going that good. I don't know. But 50 is saying it's probably because the investments he's got aren't going that good, and he's just out here trying to scratch for. Because come on, bro, you're boxing Mike Tyson. You guys are both past your prime. Mike Tyson's like 60-something years old. Like clearly, if you're boxing Mike Tyson, it's a money grab. That's all it is. It's not like for any other reason. Like you should be completely retired out of boxing. Yeah, you can do these little boxing fights and make your little quick 20, 30 million, but it's like, why would you need to do that? You should be in a whole different field, investing and making money in different, like the New York buildings that you're talking about. So overall, we'll see what happens with this. I think Floyd is in some type of money trouble because it seems like he's the type of person that just blows money. I mean, you see that guy with money and new stuff every single day, and he always talks about his wealth everywhere. So that's his whole image. If he doesn't have that, it's like, what is Floyd Mayweather? He doesn't really have an identity without the money. His whole personality is money. The guy's, bending backwards for any type of money that he can get. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But nonetheless, it is getting interesting.